Greetings, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of the Breath of Fresh Air Webcast on YouTube. I am Charles Taylor, and I have Patrick Brackett back with me. Say what's up, Patrick.
What's up, everybody? You have to forgive me. I just woke up,
Garbage.
my ass off.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get Patrick going with the energy of the show, hopefully. Well, I have no worry about that. He'll be all right. But well, on this edition, since it's been a little bit and haven't been on for a couple of weeks, again, life's been getting in the way, but hey, we are back. So a lot of stuff has happened. The NBA playoffs have been going on, so as the NHL playoffs, and the NFL draft is happening on Thursday, or it's been happening. So let's start with the NBA playoffs, Patrick. A lot of stuff has happened, a lot of injuries to talk about. So basically, what are your takeaways from it? Who are you surprised at, pleasantly surprised at, and who are your disappointments so far?
I'll start with my disappointments, man. I'm disappointed in Detroit not beating Cleveland.
Oh, of course.
One day, man. One day. Well, you know what? It's fixing to happen. Atlanta's about to take them down. I feel it. Atlanta's got it.
In how many games?
We'll talk about that in a minute. I don't know yet. Well, you know, let's start with the Detroit-Cleveland series, man. It went about the way I thought it was going to do. I mean, I said Cleveland in 5. Wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland swept. There's too much talent on that team for a team like Detroit to handle them. I thought they matched up well. It's just inexperience on Detroit's side, man. With that said, Detroit played them very well. There was times where Cleveland would put on a big run and Detroit would match it. So Detroit, man, they have no reason to hang their head in that series. You know, they got swept, but hey, if upper management doesn't know what to do to make this a contending playoff team for next year, then they need new management, because the team is a good team. Detroit has no reason to hang their head, man. They played well.
Yeah. Anything else sticking out?
I thought we were going to take it by series.
Nah, man. Yeah, it is. Go through the whole thing real quick, man. Just a kind of a breakdown.
All right. Well, what is it? The Raptors-Pacers game.
Oh, so that's a disappointment.
That was a disappointment from the get-go. I mean, I told you that was going to be a 7-game series, and it's just 7-game series because teams can't figure out which team's going to suck the most. That series is just boring. I even tried watching one of the games, man. They went on a scoreless spell for like 3 minutes, dude. I was like, I'm gone. So I just left. And then the Clippers, who they playing? Crap, Portland series. I figured Cleveland. I thought Clippers was gonna win that series, man. But it looks like they're in a lot of trouble, man. Being down 3-2 right now to Portland, who is honestly, I think they got their number, man. If Clippers go out this early, which they probably need to be transferred anyway, but they need to be ripped apart and rebuilt. That Clipper team sucks, and there's too much riding on Chris Paul, man. Too much. Get this guy's out, and Clippers can't get nothing going. So they need to rip that team apart and figure out what's going on. But Portland looking really good in that series right now.
Is there anything that excites you?
Oh, well, of course. Atlanta won tonight.
Okay. I just
but
like
it wasn't one of those things that really stuck out to me that was a surprise. I mean, I had them winning, right? But this is my team, and you know how I am against my team, man. I'm very critical against my team, and they came out tonight with a totally different game plan than they played in the first 5 games, and it worked. Put Isaiah Thomas with 2 red jerseys on his butt all night, and it frustrated him to no end tonight. So Atlanta played good tonight, man. I really commend them on playing, and that's another team, man. Boston, don't hang your head, man. You're a young team. You got a lot to learn, and y'all took Atlanta to 6, man. And Atlanta's a good team. I mean, I don't think they're the best out there, right now. I legitimately give them a top 8 pick, but definitely a top 10 team. But Celtics, man, don't hang your head. Yeah, that's a good team out there, and they go get them a superstar, and they could have probably beat Atlanta in this series.
Well, I think the Eastern Conference definitely looks like there's more competition in there. Well, series wise, the Western Conference can't talk, but that conference is pretty cut and dry. We knew the Spurs were gonna probably sweep Memphis, which they did. OKC handled Dallas in 5. I'm not gonna jump on Golden State and Houston yet. Not yet, but I will. But and then the Clippers in Portland. Yeah. Without Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, the Clippers are just kind of falling apart. It's just so much, like you said, just riding on that offense or on him to create everything for that offense. You take him away, it's that head of the snake. Take him away, and the Clippers are going to struggle. And yeah, Portland is probably going to move on. They have game 6 on Friday in Portland. It's a good chance for Portland to put this series away. Now, for the Golden State and Houston series, of course, we know Steph Curry had went out for a couple of weeks with that sprained MCL. My friend Courtney, who was on the show one time, he asked me one day, if Steph Curry went out, do I think they could sustain? I said, yes. Hell yes. Against Houston? Yeah. And
Teams couldn't excel against Houston. Houston's garbage, dude.
they're horrible. And about them, Patrick, they are the most gutless, lack of heart, lack of discipline. How is it possible for teams like Memphis, Detroit, now those two in particular, because they both got swept, but how is it possible for those two teams to show more heart in a sweep than Houston showed in this series, and they won a game? How is that possible? Why do I feel that way? I shouldn't feel that way, but I do, because the performances Houston showed throughout this series were pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Completely pathetic. This is a team that was in the Western Conference Finals last year. And most, if not all, those people were back. So they had their whole roster intact pretty much. And they come out lack of heart, lack of effort. James Harden, defense is not in his vocabulary at all. Dwight Howard is a shell of himself. So he's not, you don't see him improving at all. And Houston's going to get broken up anyway. So I took joy in seeing them get blasted by a Golden State Warriors team without their MVP.
Let me tell you something about that Golden State team. All right, Steph Curry, we would agree that is the backbone of that team.
Yes.
But man, I can tell you, when a team comes together like Golden State did, and they go from Steph Curry scoring 30, 35, 40 points or whatever, to divvying those 40 points up amongst 11 players, amazing. Just flat out amazing, dude. They were unselfish, extra passes. The only team, and I was listening to this statistic while Atlanta was playing, because Atlanta threw up 30 assists in Game 5 against Boston. The only team to have more in a series or in a game was Golden State, and they had 32 against Houston in Game 5. That to me was amazing. It tells me that these two teams they're really playing unselfish ball. And for Denver, like I said, Denver to divvy up those points
Golden
amongst
State.
those players, or Golden State, sorry, for Golden State to divvy up those points like that, that was just amazing. That was a fantastic performance by them. And granted, I know it's Houston Rockets. Idiot monkeys could probably throw up 35 assists on the Rockets, but I thought it was impressive. 32 assists in one game. That was amazing for me.
Well, Golden State, I think they're just showing what they have, what they are. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, Steph Curry does get a lot of the hype. He does get a lot of the attention. But Golden State has a team. They have a lot of players on that team that can create offense for themselves and others. Talk about Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes, of course, Draymond Green. And then you come off the bench with Sean Livingston also, along with Iguodala. But you got, well, Livingston's been starting, of course, with Curry out. But with Livingston and then Leandro Barbosa, I mean, all these guys can create shots for themselves and other people. And it just shows the versatility they have. So as great as Steph Curry is, they can sustain a good long run until he comes back. Uh, I'm pretty. I think you and I would probably agree. They're gonna move on because we think we're saying probably they're gonna end up meeting Portland in the second half or in the Western Conference semifinals since the Clippers are beat up and about to go home. And then we feel like they'll beat Portland. And so that will set them up with the matchup between them and either OKC or San Antonio.
Which is probably going to be in this second round. There's two series that I'm in particular going to be watching. Again, that Atlanta Boston series I said was going to be the best series in the first round, and I can tell you right now it was not a complete letdown. That was a fantastic series, and I'm not saying that just because Atlanta won. I'm saying that because Boston, even though they were down, they still fought, and that's what you want to see out of a good young team. So that's what I liked about Boston. Boston is a young team, but they didn't care. They're down 20. They don't care. They're still coming at you. And even though Atlanta had that game 2 win by 17 points, I was telling you this before. I still wasn't confident with that two game series lead, and I told you that.
Yeah, but Patrick, we said in our webcast also that it was going to be a long series. So yeah. I think we both knew it wasn't going to be one-sided either way.
Right. But in the second round, obviously I'm gonna say Atlanta and Cleveland, because this is really the first chance Cleveland is gonna have to get beat. And I've told you this all season long. You said Miami was the best team to beat them, and I agreed with you. I agree with you in a sense that I think Miami is one of the teams that can beat them. But I said two teams. I think two teams can beat this Cleveland team, and that was Miami and Atlanta. And I felt Atlanta. I felt Atlanta can do this. I feel Atlanta can do it, especially with the way they've played and who they're. I think this is where Cleveland stops beating Atlanta this year. So I think it's going to be an interesting season. And then that San Antonio OKC series, dude, that is going to be one heck of a series, dude. I can tell you right now. I am super pumped about that one. I'll probably watch all 7 games of that one.
Yeah. And then going back to the East real quick, you still have Charlotte. They have Miami down. So Miami might not even have the chance to get past the first round. I mean, they got to go to Charlotte for a game 6 Friday. It could be it. It could be it for Miami. Charlotte, like you said, man, that Charlotte has some players and they can make some noise. If Miami's not careful, they can get beat and they're in danger. And then you mentioned Toronto, Indiana. Yeah, we'll see. Guess Toronto will win by default. And
doesn't matter. Second round, they're going down.
And then Atlanta puts out Boston, and then so we'll see. It should be interesting to see how these matchups break down. I do. Yeah, I think we believe the Miami Charlotte winner will be in the Eastern Conference Finals because we both think they could beat either Toronto or Indiana in the next round. And so, yeah, so we'll just continue watching and we'll see how things break down. And we'll be right back here to talk about it and throw shade on teams if needed.
And
But
I want to throw this out there before we move to the NHL, dude. Sorry, Stan, but man, I promise you, dude. I hope the Hornets beat the Heat because that team can be scary, dude. And I really think it's unfortunate. I hate the fact that Charlotte's beating this team without Miami being 100% healthy. Chris Bosh sitting on the sidelines, man. That's just you don't want to see that for a team like Miami who fought as hard as they did, and then Chris Bosh is just sitting on the sidelines, you know. But then we did say this at the last webcast, man. If Chris Bosh is not playing, this team is hurting. I mean, I had Miami winning. I think I picked Miami in 7. But Charlotte is without Chris Bosh, man. This is not the same. It's not the same Miami team. I just don't think Joe Johnson has what it takes to fill those size 14 shoes.
yeah, well, I mean, hey, Chris Bosh is a versatile player. I mean, he can do a lot of stuff with his height and his skill set. So nobody's going to really replace that. But uh, if in Miami's sake, you hope they could just be comprehensive. They kind of do it collectively. Well, but right now, what you have, okay, so Chris Bosh was out, so they went to a smaller lineup. And since they went to the smaller lineup, they're trying to go up and down the court. Well, Charlotte is slowing that down. It's turning into a little bit more isolation for Miami, and it's not working. I mean, the last couple of games, they haven't scored over 88 points. The last 3. The first couple of games in the series, I think they scored, I think they averaged 119 points or something for the first 2 games. It was something crazy. And so with Charlotte slowing them down, it's really putting Miami in a bind there, and they can't pick up the pace, and yeah, they're in trouble.
Well, I mean, I think Miami just needs to. I mean, maybe they just need to just play the ball the way they need to get it. Don't continue with that small lineup. If you see that it's not working, look at what Boston did when they went there. They were reaching. I admit to not. They were reaching for an answer, and they threw out that big lineup, and Atlanta smashed that with a 15-2 run. And but before that 15-2 run ended, it was at 10-2 before they stopped doing when they took out the big lineup and realized that it wasn't working. So Boston, Miami has to look at it like that. If they see something that's not working, they need to pull out before it gets too deep. And that's what I feel that Miami needs to do is they just need to without Bosh, they have to play this by case basis, quarter by quarter. Win the first quarter, win the second quarter, win the third quarter, and hope to win the fourth quarter, kind of thing. I don't think they need to shoot for a longevity of a game. They need to play it quarter by quarter and put in what you need to put in and try to win the quarter as opposed to trying to win the game, which is kind of seems like what they're trying to do when they keep throwing this small lineup out. So, I mean, they have to do what they have to do to win, and I understand that, but I just don't think trying to win the game is what's going to be the key. I think it's trying to win the quarter.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens for
Yep.
game 6 and see if they make those adjustments and keep their season alive. Well, Patrick, the NHL playoffs playoffs. What are your takeaways from there? What are your surprises and what are your disappointments?
Well, there's really all right. I really don't have any surprises per se, but I have a couple of disappointments. You talked about this series quite a bit. The Pittsburgh and Rangers series. I said it in the webcast. I said if the Rangers are going to win this series, if they're going to have a chance to win this series, they have to shoot 25 shots on goal. Game 1, they shot 29 shots on goal. give Pittsburgh a lot of credit with this rookie goalie. I mean, I thought Fleury was going to play a little bit more. I thought Fleury was coming back, but apparently his injury is a little more worse than what I anticipated it to be. So they send out this rookie goalie, dude, and this rookie goalie is freaking phenomenal. With the lack of defense that Pittsburgh has and all that shooting, it's not like it really freaking mattered. But the Rangers have been struggling, like you've told me. The Rangers have been struggling shooting shots on goal. When they get into game 2, and they only had 17 shots on goal. Game 3, they had that's the game they won.
They won game 2.
They won game 2.
Yeah, they lost both of the game. They lost 3 and 4 in New York.
Okay, so then it was 32 shots on goal in game 1, or 17 shots on game 1 and 32 shots on game 2. Then, right?
Something like that. I mean, I thought it was 17 shots on goal in game 3.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're right. It was. Okay, so let's just start with game 3. All right, so they lose game 1, they win game 2. Okay, cool. I think they had a lot of shots on goal in those 2 games. Game 3, you only have 17. 17 shots on goal, and you had 4 power plays. Where's the problem at right there? 4.
Well, you're right, but
how do you not get at least 20? I mean, to me, that was like you're not even trying to shoot the goal or shoot the shot, and then they lose game 3, 4-2, and Lundqvist stopped 41 shots on goal and still had 4. He had to let 4 in. Where is the defense that the Rangers were? I mean, this is playoff time. This is gut check time. And these guys they're not even attempting to shoot shots on goal. And then they're leaving Lundqvist out there. I mean, dude, how many times did the Pittsburgh have fast breaks on Lundqvist 1-on-1? I thought this is ridiculous. So I was really disappointed with the way that the Rangers it just seemed like they didn't step their game up. This is playoff time. This is playoff time. They didn't even do anything. Left Lundqvist out to dry the entire season like that. That was just ridiculous. And then on 6 games, 5 games, whatever it was, Pittsburgh just they just kept shooting on the guy, and I was like, you can't blame Lundqvist for this loss. You got to blame New York's defense for this loss. It was just horrible. I was very disappointed with the way they played.
That's what I saw happening in the series. I mean, that's why, like me personally, just looking at the Rangers, it had to be Lundqvist standing on his head because the Rangers have been struggling to score all year. So since they had been struggling to score all year, if Lundqvist was not Hendrik Lundqvist, which he wasn't because of all the shots he was seeing, then this series was going to get ugly in a hurry. And we talked a lot of mess about Pittsburgh, but they have a lot of firepower.
Yep.
And you can only, even Hendrik Lundqvist, you can only hold that team down for so long before they have some sort of explosion. And I'm saying 4 or 5 goals. With the Rangers struggles to score, man, and the way Pittsburgh had been playing, I just felt like Pittsburgh was just a better team and they were going to run the Rangers out. So
they did
so for me, that's kind of what I saw with that series. It's one of the few series I actually got right. Let's see, I missed Detroit and Tampa Bay. I missed I missed okay, no, I got the Islanders right. Got the Capitals right.
Anaheim,
the Western Conference was where I took the beating. I miss Anaheim because they got knocked out by Nashville on Wednesday.
But that was a good series, dude. That was good.
A good pick on your part, though. Very good pick.
But well, Nashville was my big pick for that.
When we did the preview.
Yeah, Nashville was the one I was riding high with, so had to continue that.
Let's see which one. I missed San Jose because San Jose beat the Kings, got the Kings out in 5 games. That was a surprise. And the biggest surprise, Patrick, was St. Louis knocking out the Chicago Blackhawks. I definitely did not see that coming because we always talk about the Blackhawks being able to outgrind teams and move on, survive and advance.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Blues this time. The Blues, even after having the 3-1 series lead. Chicago came back, won the next 2 games, won games 5 and 6, and you could just see it. You're thinking to yourself, "Uh-oh, this is the part where St. Louis is going to crack. St. Louis can't move past the first round. They couldn't get past the first round the last 3 years, and here it is about to slip away from them again." But they got it together and they beat the Blackhawks in a thrilling game, by the way, 3-2.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 3-2 was the final score of that. And now, dude, it's wide open. It is wide open. I mean, a lot of people like the Blackhawks and the Kings, one of those two teams to come out of the West and really win the Stanley Cup. They're both out now. And this bad boy is wide open between in the Western Conference between St. Louis, Dallas, Nashville, and San Jose. It is wide open in there. And then even in the East. Well, in the East, I don't think it's as wide open because I think both you and I agree. We feel like the winner of the Pittsburgh Washington series will probably come out of the East.
I got Washington.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we picked Washington. We both picked them at the beginning. So, well, at the beginning of the playoff preview.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tampa Bay, you just want no, that series will be interesting with them and the Islanders. And the Islanders did take the first game, so we'll see how that
Yeah,
turns out.
which was a good game. And I didn't make I needed to make my pick, and I didn't get to talk to you about this pick between Tampa Bay and the Islanders, and I told you I was leaning towards Tampa Bay, and I didn't get to watch this first game. I hadn't even seen the highlights to it yet. But watching the Islanders in the last series, I made a pick to go with the Islanders because I just, for some reason, I guess I just want a New York team to win. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, man. So I lean toward the Islanders, and I picked the Islanders to win this in 7. They just they played really well in that last series, and their goalie, I can't remember who their goalie is, but he got
Rice.
Rice. Yeah,
Rice, I think.
he was looking solid, dude. I mean, like I'm telling you right now, man. There's 4 goalies that just flat out looked phenomenal, and that was Rice, Bishop, Rene, and Pittsburgh's
The rookie
rookie
goalie.
goalie. I can't think of his name. Those 4 goalies, man, just plain out played. And this Islanders Tampa Bay game is their series is very interesting. I'm really paying attention to this one. I wish I would have got to watch game 1 last night, but I had to do some business stuff and take care of that. You know, I love watching hockey, but I love feeding my kids too. So I didn't get to watch the game, but I'm picking the Islanders in 7, and I feel really good with that. I mean, as good as I could because Tampa Bay. I did something about Stamkos being out, man. I know they beat Detroit, and that was actually a huge surprise to me. But Stamkos, man, there's something just still. I was like, man, if they had Stamkos, I would feel more comfortable picking them. But without him, just don't feel comfortable with picking that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had Stamkos. You had them coming out of the East.
Yeah,
We had. So I mean, with Stamkos and then the way the rest of the team has been playing in the playoffs, and Ben Bishop in goal, it can be tough, difficult to deal with Tampa Bay.
yeah,
And with that experience they had last year, making it to the Stanley Cup final, all those guys were returning, and Tampa Bay's young. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of youth on that team. So the thinking is Tampa Bay's going to be around. They're going to be something to deal with. But man, yeah, these teams. I like a lot of these teams, man. A lot of them have a lot of young talent. Even in the Western Conference, you look at those series, St. Louis and Dallas. That's going to be a great series.
yeah. I got. It's funny. I mean, you know, I know St. Louis beat Chicago, but I got Dallas in 6.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dallas in that one too. I'll go 7. The St. Louis, man, they just showed me a lot. Showed me a lot in that series against the Blackhawks. So I think St. Louis is gonna be down to the wire in there. And Nashville and San Jose, man.
Nashville all the way, baby.
Well, I know you going Nashville all the way, of
I
course.
got I got Nashville in 5, dog.
Nashville in 5,
Nashville in 5.
man. I don't know, man. San Jose looked pretty tough, man, against the Kings. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be
They did.
short like that.
They did the Kings, but they look solid against the Kings. But I just when I looked at the Kings and the way that San Jose was playing the Kings, I just didn't think Kings played to what I didn't think they played to their advantage. I think San Jose set the tone. They set the tone early, and it forced the Kings to play in San Jose's wheelhouse. So I mean, I don't think that'll happen in Nashville. I think Nashville has the upper hand in that. I got Nashville in 5. So I got Nashville in 5, and Dallas in 6, Washington in 7, or did I say 6? 7, and who's the other game?
Islanders.
Islanders in 7.
All right. Well, we will see how that turns out. I have Washington winning. Still not sure about the Islanders and Tampa Bay. I guess I'll stick with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay will find a way to pull that out. Got them in 7. I got Dallas in 7, and I have that Nashville San Jose is going to be real tough because I think Nashville is going to have to score more in this series against San Jose. I mean, because
Well, that could be possible, dude. I mean, look at what they had against Anaheim. I mean, dude, Anaheim was just, dude, they were rock solid all season.
yeah,
Most teams didn't score on Anaheim. I mean,
yeah.
Anaheim, they didn't. They allowed the fewest goals amongst a lot of teams. Man, they were like ranked 3rd or 4th, dude.
Well, if Rene continues to play the way he did in the last couple of games of that series, then yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat Nashville. I'll go with Nashville, but I don't think it'll be 5. I think it'll be 6 or 7. Because I said, San Jose, I think they're gonna bring it. I mean, I think they're a little bit different than what we're used to seeing from San Jose. So, so I think they'll take this series a little bit further. But I think Rene will be the difference. Uh, well, Patrick.
Update real quick. Washington beat Pittsburgh in overtime 4-3.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep, I was actually looking at it on the TV, and I seen that Washington was celebrating. So,
Hey, hat trick by Oshie, man.
hey, the big signing, the big trade.
Yeah,
Do you
worked
see?
out for him.
Yeah, because like you said, because you know what you're gonna get out of Ovechkin, but a lot of teams know that too, so they're gonna take them away. You get Oshie there, man. Now it's kind of one of those pick your poison type of things.
Yep.
So, well, Patrick, real quick, let's talk about the NFL draft and some of the happenings in there. So, we've seen Jared Goff go to the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Carson Wentz get drafted by the Eagles. The Eagles are a mess. And, and then some of the other interesting draft choices that happened. Tunsil, the lineman, Laramie Tunsil, the lineman out of Ole Miss, he went to the Dolphins at 13. That was a little bit of a surprise for people because they felt like he would go higher in the draft. But some character issues have risen up, and so that probably dropped them down to the Falcons, excuse me, not the Falcons, to the Dolphins. My team, the 49ers, they picked up a defensive end, Buckner, out of Oregon. And Dallas's pick was interesting too. So Dallas drafted Ezekiel Elliott. So it's clear Dallas went with the best player available in the draft at that position.
Well, you knew they were going to go with a running back anyway, dude.
I mean, I don't get it because, all right, you have Darren McFadden there, and I know he's had a durability issue, but he had a pretty good season last year. And you also picked up Alfred Morris from Washington. So I don't know, Patrick.
I think he picked him up for trade purposes only. I mean, honestly, that's what I think. They're going to see what they can get out of what they have. I mean, that three stable running back that they have right now, that's a really good running back stable, dude. Come on.
But you can only play one. And see the thing,
but they picked him up for trading purposes. They picked up something for trading purposes. They're probably going to trade him at Madden.
Because I mean, I just feel like this, man. When it goes into the draft, I don't know what makes a lot of teams just say, "Oh, well, we're just gonna get the best available player." I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, if the guy is that talented to where you feel like you can't pass up on him, then okay, cool. Then I guess you'll go ahead and take him. But I mean, the draft to me, unless I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, but the draft to me, I mean, you have so many picks. I mean, most 7 at the least. So I mean, you're trying to build a team, and I
Mm-hmm.
think getting the best available while you're getting a talented guy, that just kind of it might set you back a little bit because you're not really building the rest of the team up. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you're trying to build your team the best way possible, but a lot of teams, especially like the Rams or the Eagles, I'll say, I can understand the Rams doing what they did because they feel like they have a team around the quarterback position to where they can get a guy and then they can start to compete for playoff spots.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the Rams doing that. The Eagles ain't even close. The Eagles are a hot mess.
Well, Eagles don't know what they need. That's the problem. I mean, you got Sam Bradford sitting out there, but Sam Bradford doesn't want to be there anymore. So you pick up Carson Wentz, and you're hoping. I mean, that's a to me. I think the Eagles. I just don't know. I just don't think the Eagles know what they want. I mean, I look at the top 5. I look at the top 10 picks, dude. The Rams make the most sense. Two teams make the most sense out to me. Uh, San Diego picking up Bosa. I mean, I guess is an okay pick. I mean, I didn't think they needed a defensive end, but they picked
I,
one.
I, I think Bosa's overrated, personally. I mean, a lot of people love this dude, but I don't. I
My personal opinion, though, and this is not because of the team he came from. Leonard Floyd going to Chicago, dude. I
Hey,
thought
I
that
was
was
talking
fantastic.
about him to my dad, and I said I like Leonard Floyd too, man. Because when I
And
look
then
at
and,
him,
and then that's just dude. That's probably gonna be that's like the big pick, man. That's a big pick.
I look at him and I see a lot of Alden Smith qualities, the
Mm-hmm.
talent wise, not the Alden Smith that gets in trouble all the time. But I know too much about that, of course, being a 49er fan. But no, Leonard Floyd has that type of body build. See, he's long, he's really athletic, he can get quick pressure. I like his skill set. I mean, me personally, I think I like him more than Bosa. I mean, I was just never that impressed by Bosa. Everything I seen from him, I can see where he's talented, but to me, he makes crazy, just dumb mistakes on the field. I keep on going back to that game they played against Michigan State. 3 offside penalties. You're a lineman. You're right by the ball. How do you jump offside? You're right there by the ball. All you have to do is watch the ball. Now these linemen, they try to judge the snap count and try to get a jump off the ball, but dude, watch the ball. Come on. And
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I mean, but no, I agree with you, Patrick. Yeah, I like the Leonard Floyd pick for the Bears too.
I like that pick, and then going through here, I also like the Corey Coleman by the Browns. I think Browns they need a wide receiver, and they actually need a couple wide receivers. But I like that pick with the Cleveland Browns, and one of the picks, I'm gonna have to, got to talk about my Falcons for a minute. What the hell are they picking up another fucking safety for?
Beep censor button. It's okay. I got you. But
You got the freaking disclaimer, dude. Another safety, dude. This is like 5 safeties in 2 years, dude. I'm freaking sick of picking up safeties.
I can tell you where they're going with it, Patrick, because you remember who y'all coach is. It's Dan Quinn. Of course, he was defensive coordinator in Seattle. Seattle has hard hitting safeties. That's what he had down there. So that's what he's
Look,
trying to build. Look, you can give me the Dookie look if you want to, but
I'm
it's
not
true,
I'm
Patrick.
giving Atlanta the dookie look. What? I mean, another say, dude. Come on. Look, I don't care who the quarterback is or who the head coach is, dude. 5 safeties in 2 years.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, man. I'm not saying I disagree with you, Patrick. All I'm saying is that's the thing he's trying to build. He wants to get these big physical guys in the secondary. He wants to try to build something like what he had as a defensive coordinator in Seattle. Seattle got all these big rangy corners, big rangy safeties, and he wants a lot of versatility with these guys. So you draft and you build that depth. Now, I do think 9 safeties is too many. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, 5 too many.
Yeah, but I mean that's what he's trying to do. He wants to build. It's been either safeties or defensive linemen. That's mostly what Atlanta's been drafting. And so I guess the offense, they're saying, well, we'll just get people from free agency. I can see Atlanta probably trying to get another receiver somewhere down the line in this draft since they lost Roddy White. So
no, that made me sick. You know he's going to Carolina, right?
oh yeah, Carolina gonna pick him up. Oh yeah, you know it because they get somebody to play alongside Kelvin Benjamin who's coming back from injury and help out Greg Olsen. Yeah, yeah, Patrick. Yep. Carolina's gonna beat. Yep, they're the team to beat. So
Slap Dan Quinn in the freaking face, dude.
hey, I just think.
I'm starting to have flashbacks of preseason baseball when Atlanta traded everybody off. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be a long season. We're 4-14 right now, and this is a long freaking season.
Yeah.
And then Dan Quinn comes in and he gets rid of Waddy White. I mean, I'm like, dude, what? It's like legitimately, dude. You got the number 1 wide receiver in all the league, and then you got a legitimate top 10 right behind him, dude. Now we're gonna get rid of Roddy White. He's gonna go to Carolina. Damn, I know he's going to Carolina, and we're gonna pick up some 5'4" cat that that has butterfingers, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, he's like the best wide receiver in the world. He's gonna outshine Julio Jones, and Julio Jones might as well just get ready for triple coverage.
Well, shoot. Hey, Patrick, look, we'll change the subject, get you off of the frustration of Atlanta sports besides the Hawks.
Two more things, though. I want to pick. Quarterback for the Bengals, they picked up William Jackson III. I think that's a pretty good pick for them.
Yeah, they needed another corner because
deep downfield. This cat, I think he ran what, a 4.3 in the combine, and dude, he's flat out fast. I like this pick for the Bengals.
Yeah, they needed a little bit more secondary help because the corners they're kind of lacking. I mean, I think they lost Pac-Man Jones. I don't know if he's re-signed with them, and I don't know if they kept Reggie Nelson as the safety either. So they needed to address that in the draft. Oh, what was your other thing?
Denver getting their quarterback Paxton Lynch. That was huge since they lost both their quarterbacks in a span of 24 hours.
Yeah.
That sucked for them, but you know what? Denver with that team, Paxton Lynch is going to fit right in with that. I mean, the scheme will change a little bit, and the offense coordinator will probably be happy now that he doesn't have. Well, he's either going to be happy because he gets to actually run his offense, or he's going to be sad because the fact is that Peyton Manning made him look good.
Well, Patrick, you have that defense. Denver still has that defense.
It's solid too.
So, I mean, take care of the football. He's coming into a situation where he won't have to do too much. So he could just go ahead and just take care of what's going on and then run the football, play that good defense. Denver will still be a threat, man. They'll still be all right.
Yeah.
So,
other than that, man, I mean, Carolina's pick of Berman Butler, I could see why they did that, but I mean, it wasn't like the best pick of everything that Carolina could have done. But you see I can see where they want him. But other than that, man, looks like a pretty typical first round.
All right. Well, let's get into real quick. Let's talk about Tom Brady.
We probably got about 5 minutes, dude.
5 minutes? Have you been on there that long?
Yeah, we started at like 10, 18, dude.
My gosh, man. One of these days we'll cut it down a little bit, but no, but real quick. I just wanted to talk about this the reigniting of the Deflategate scandal. So we have Tom Brady. He had his suspension overturned, reinstated, overturned, and now it's reinstated again. U.S. Appeals Court said they are bringing that suspension back. And to me, Patrick, this goes back to the NFLPA. They messed this up from the beginning because this is the judgment wasn't based on whether or not they felt Tom Brady or the commissioner Roger Goodell was right. It was based off of, did Roger Goodell overstep his boundaries on the agreement, on the collective bargaining agreement? They said no. And a lot of times the federal courts don't want to get involved with that stuff anyway. That's what those unions are for.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the reason why this goes back on the NFLPA is because these idiots were the ones who gave Roger Goodell executive power to make these judgments.
And now they're mad about it.
And now they're mad about it. So it makes no sense for them to say, oh, well, we want to protest everything, blah, blah, blah. No, this is your fault, NFLPA. And that's where the blame goes. Now, Tom Brady, now he has to make a decision. Does it? Because the next step, Patrick, is it's the Supreme Court.
Well, we talked about this. We talked about this a little bit a couple of days ago. Yeah, the next step is Supreme Court. But by the time that gets, dude, I said it over the phone. Dude, Tom Brady's gonna be retired by the time that goes to Supreme Court. It takes 2 years. It takes 2 years, dude. This whole situation that they're in is no better than the NCAA trying to find somebody cheating. I mean, it's really not. It takes 10 years for them to figure out somebody's cheating, and by then, the player that cheated has already got an education from them, whether it be an associate's or a bachelor's. They've moved on to the NFL or wherever they're going. They've played 15 years there, and they're fixing to retire. And then they're like, oh, by the way, and then I'm going to go to USC because it's the first school that pops into my mind because they're the biggest cheaters of all. And Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, dude, this dude just went, he's about to retire. And they're like, oh, by the way, USC, since y'all cheated 35, 40 years ago, we're going to hit you with this suspension and y'all can't play in any bowl games and you lose this, and this, whatever. This plays right into the same crap. I mean, look, it was a football. It was like a half a piece PSI less. Let it go. Sometimes you need to know what battles to fight and what battles just to let go. Let it go. Just let it go. Let Tom Brady go out there and whip everybody like he's going to, and probably put on about two, maybe 3 more rings. Let him retire, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You have somebody else to pick on. I mean, why? I don't even want to talk about Deflategate. I want to talk about something else. I don't care what about it. It's just something else. This is stupid. It's like, let Tom Brady play. Just let him play. They're just pissed off because he keeps beating everybody. That's all he's mad. That's all, everybody's mad about
it. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, this is about the NFLPA being garbage.
And they are. I mean, look, if you sign your rights over to somebody, dude, I mean, look, think about it. Why would you sign all your rights over to Roger Goodell? I mean, seriously. I mean, would you let this kid watch your kid? Would you let this guy watch your kids?
Well, apparently the NFLPA said they would. So
I mean, this guy is a mustache away from looking like a freaking pedophile.
So I don't know. I just have no idea why the NFLPA would do that. And now they're mad about it. They want to protest everything. Granted, we don't agree with everything Roger Goodell decides. At least we don't agree with anything Roger Goodell decides.
I don't care if he's right. I'm still not agreeing with him.
But the thing is, this is what you get when you say you have executive power. That is their fault. It is nobody else's fault but the NFLPA. And this whole case, this whole Deflategate thing, all this other mess, to me, it goes right back to the NFLPA. And those people need to be held responsible for signing that garbage CBA that let Roger Goodell make these rulings. When we going through this right now.
I can tell you right now, dude, if Roger Goodell come up to me and said, look, Patrick, you need water to survive. I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, no, seriously, your body's made up like 70% water. I'm like, no, it ain't. I don't believe the word you're saying. I don't like him. I don't believe what he said. He tell me I need to eat 3 times a day. I'm gonna be like, no, that ain't right. Something wrong with that. If Roger Goodell saying it, there's something wrong with something. There's something wrong with it.
What and Patrick, before we go, can you tell us why you don't like Roger Goodell? It's because of his what?
Because of his hair.
His hair.
He got bad hair. And believe me, I know. I work in a salon.
That's so funny because
I don't like. Like I said, he tell me I need water. I'm like, no, something wrong with that. I disagree. No, seriously. No, well, I believe we agreed to disagree because I ain't put. You tell me I need water in my body. I ain't putting water in my body. No. You need to eat 3 times a day. Nope. Solids are best for you. Nope. I'm gonna eat a donut.
Well, on that note, Patrick, we're gonna wrap this one up. But yeah, we'll be back definitely next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday. We'll see how the schedule goes. But other than that, follow us on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook and Google Plus. Twitter's coming probably in May. Gosh, it's April.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, next week.
June, July, August.
Yeah,
August, September, October, maybe around Halloween or Thanksgiving. Look for Twitter during Christmas. I'm just saying.
We'll get on there. We have the Twitter handles and all that other stuff, but we will be getting.
We got them. We're just lazy.
Yeah,
I'm about to just deal with you.
It's been a lot of life going on. But we'll get it on there. But other than that, like us, leave that feedback. Let us know how you feel about the show. And I don't think I'm missing anything else.
Got it.
All right. Well then, yep. Enjoy the playoff action from the NHL and the NBA this week. Enjoy the rest of the draft. I think there's 5 more rounds of it. So just enjoy everything that's going
Round
on.
2 tomorrow and 3, 4, and 5 on Saturday.
Yeah, 6 and 7. I think it's on Saturday. So yeah,
they do 2 and 3 tomorrow then.
Yeah. Yep. So other than that, just enjoy all the sports that is going on, and we will return sometime next week. All right. Till then, take it easy.